But it's three sides of the story. Their word and the other person's word is the truth. It's always, coming out of law enforcement, I mean, there's always another story to the thing, you know, but we have that, I mean, in Sullivan, you know, we've got several clerks and trustees there, I mean, all over the state. I mean, you know, in Park County, they had a lot of problems there. We got one now going in West Terre Haute, you know, I mean, it's just everywhere, but it's the greed. I mean, you know, the morals anymore, and that's one thing that, you know, we haven't touched at all, but, you know, the things that's going on, look at our legislatures, things they're getting caught doing, you know, the Congress and the state and everything, it's just unbelievable, you know, and the things that we have to, I mean, back in 1998, when Owen, by a stroke of a pen, you know, he started allowing homosexual adoptions, you know, and I didn't understand at first what the big push was and all that in that community. But what it is, what they want the kids with needs. Of course, you know, and the state pays up to $258 a day per kid. That's the reason they want 2 or 3 kids. So I mean, you're talking $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a week sometimes to take care of these kids. So you hire a couple nannies to sit in there, you know. And it is I mean, if you look at the expense from 1998 up to about 2000, it's almost double. I mean, once they start closing down the homes and all that, you know. And I had a sexual couple. We had 3 boys. One boy was about 6, and they had a set of twins that was 3 or 4. And we had one couple, had a 160-acre farm, a new home, and they just wanted to keep the boys together. And we had to fight for almost a year. The state just tore them people at home inspection after home inspection. But a homosexual group would go in there and within 2 or 3 weeks walk out with them. You know, I mean, it's just so lopsided anymore. You know, it just that type of thing. And then you know, the gay marriage, but you know, all these states, you know, what's doing that now, and that's going to create a lot more legal problems. You know.
Are you aware of the Waterman Rural Council, the executive orders that he just issued about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
I'm not familiar with that yet. I can't, I mean, there's so much stuff happening right now. I said it worldwide.
That affects most people on that farmers. You find that operates up to the farming equipment will be required to have a CDL license. Now, you think that ain't going to create?
Well, you know, the CSA that is kicking in now, that's going to put probably about 300,000 drivers, commercial drivers out of work across the country. And of course, the Mexicans that's up here now driving all the time, and the Indians. We've got, you know, tremendous amount of Indians driving trucks right now. That they don't have to follow the same regulations. You know, I got a brother-in-law who's been a cross-country driver, and he has several security clearances, but he was in the Marine Corps for several years, and he hauls a lot of radioactive things across the country, that type of thing. They put him out of work because his neck size is over 17 inches. He's a little bit bigger than me, but you know, I mean, but still, you know, I wear 18 and a half. I wouldn't be able to drive the truck. You know, because and then you know, I'm maybe overweight. And then, you know, it's amazing some of the things they're coming out with. And with the agriculture, that's one thing that we've been battling, you know, in our area here. It's like Sullivan County, we don't have any milk cows anymore. The regulations get so stringent, you know, we got hog farmers disappearing all the time. I mean, now they're targeting turkey barns now. You know, we went on a bus trip to St. Louis this year about a month ago, and we counted from Terre Haute, Indiana to St. Louis, across, you know, that's all rural area across I-70 there. We counted 34 cows and 68 hogs. I mean, if you go across the country now, I mean, where I live out, it's called Bushville Bottoms, it's way out in the sticks. It's where the hoot owls chasing chickens a lot of times, you know. But there's no, I mean, we had some, I mean, good sized herds out in my area, and I always, you know, felt halfway safe out there because if something ever happened, you had a lot, you know, some hamburger out there on the hoof, you know. But they're all gone. There ain't none left. I mean,
that's what this thing's going to do. I'm sure the purpose of it is to drive the little farmers out there.
It is exactly right.
You know, if they have to have, well, you know, you got a 16-year-old kid that's driving a tractor, he's not even eligible to get a CDL license.
But right now we're shipping a lot of hay to Oklahoma and Texas out of Indiana, you know, because everything's burning out there. And I know in East Texas, I used to work down in that area back in the 70s. And I called one of the big ranchers down there. He carried about 10,000 head all the time. And he said he hadn't had a cow on his place for 4 years. And he said that the big commercial guys, and most of that's in South America, of course, you know, had bought all these cattle and then phased them out, and they still pay the grazing fees, but there's no cows there. So, I mean, that's how come your meat's going up, because all this expense, you know, importing meat from South America. I mean, if you look at your tilapia and all that stuff, you know, it's all from China, and I mean, you know, we're regulating the farmers and the agriculture to clean out of the business. Yeah. Right. And I said they go from one industry to the next. I said they hit the milk cows here a few years ago, then they went to the hogs, now they're into the turkeys, you know, they're after them now, you know, so, yeah.
You talk about these, putting these kids to work. I saw this on the news, and you got these little kids, first graders, setting up lemonade stands, and the cops would come along and shut them down, telling them they need a $300 or $400 work permit. Right. But set up a lemonade stand.
A lot of these counties now, especially out west, you know, I mean, you can't dig a hole in your property without a permit. You know, we got a guy in Vigo County right now that he's in a battle with him. He built a back porch on his house, you know, and of course didn't get a permit. He did it himself, but they're still going after him on that now for, you know, digging them holes in the ground and stuff. But we had all the big ditches that they built back in the early 1900s that drained like the river bottoms and all that, you know, which we just now paid another, what, $40 million to close them down and let them grow up again down along the Wabash there. But we had the state come in on the levee boards, and we went, I mean, months and months of battling with them, and they're straight as a poker, man-made in 1917, and they said there's a creek now. So they said, you know, we had all the documentation, of course, and everything, and they got to keep one side of that the ditch open so that the track hose go back and clean the brush out, you know, keep it clean so the drainage goes good. Well, we went through all that and finally got in court, and the lawyers from the state got in there and said, well, we don't have no jurisdiction here. They said, this is a ditch. So we've been saying that for over a year, and it cost, you know, the levee board $47,000. You know, through that whole year, and then had another thing over Clay County, pretty much the same thing over there when we cleaned out. I can't think of the name of that ditch over there. We cleaned out. They accidentally got into some blue mud, and we disturbed the frogs and salamander beds. You know, I think it's $100,000 they tried to, you know, get out of them. So, and we had 3 soil scientists on that job, and we could not get. I called the guy 3 times from the state to come out and do the inspection. Couldn't get him out. So we had to do it before the freeze hit, and got it done, and then they come in and penalize them because they disturbed that blue mud.
Well, in reference to big government intrusion, how are we doing on the Barnes v. State 4th Amendment issue? Can you give us an update on where we're...
Well, I can't hear you.
Barnes v. State, 4th Amendment, the Supreme Court ruling. Have you guys got anything planned to kind of...
Well, me and Mike Delp and Mike Young, we got a meeting this next week. We're trying to get everything put together, what we're going to be moving on this year, you know, on the federal issue, getting, you know, the resolutions ready. And so we'll have probably more this next week. I'll be able to let you know what's going on with it.
Please explain that. Some of us don't know what that is.
On that 4th Amendment resolution.
Yeah, that was the Indiana Supreme Court ruling, Barnes v. State, where the police officers were allowed to illegally enter the home.
All that, you know, and all that, yeah. That's what the deciding factor. I'm pretty confident that Richard Michigan runs for president because that's his first and only appointment in the Supreme Court. And he comes out a week before Michigan announced for president that the police officers come in your home without a search warrant and all that, you know. And they had, I know, 10,000 calls one day out there. So I mean, that was and Rush Limbaugh jumped on the bandwagon, and he had about a 30-minute segment just listening to that, you know. Said, you know, here the guys, the government does this. What's he going to do as president? You know? Yes, it was